Yeah, I just got cooked. There's this tiny game I downloaded recently, and it completely ruined my sleep schedule, and it doesn't even respect my bedtime. But I'm so obsessed with it. I told myself I'd stop playing at midnight, but it's currently 3:47 a.m., and I just started another run. So, what even is this game? Some people call it Balatro, but us regulars call it Balatro, and it honestly might be the most addictive game ever. At first, I didn't know if I was gonna play it a lot because I barely even knew what it was, but one of my friends had it, so I figured I had to at least give it a try. Ever since then, whenever I'm in my bed, I'm playing Balatro. I'm at school, I'm playing Balatro. I'm in the shower, I'm playing with my Balatro. In this video, I'll be explaining why I love Balatro, what it actually is, how it works, and what you should know in order to beat the game. First off, I could have never guessed how much I was gonna love this game. I mean, it's incredibly simple, but also weirdly deep. Anyone can play because it's on Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, PC, and mobile. And it's one of those games that you want to play and doesn't just lie unplayed in your library. I would have to say the real reason this game is so addictive is just because how fast everything moves. You see, in most games, losing ruins the whole mood. It becomes tedious to get all your progress back, or even just plain old annoying to have to wait and load into another match. But in Balatro, you can lose a run and be back in 6 or 7 seconds flat. There's no downtime for your brain to get bored or not have fun, and it almost seems like time speeds up when you play Balatro. And I would know. Last night I told myself I'd go to bed at 9, and by 12 o'clock I was convinced that I needed to finish the run I was on. It's not as simple as I'm making it seem though, because sometimes the game lets you do things like this. Yeah, that dude's just insane. At its core, Balatro is about breaking the rules of poker, but without the glory of actually gambling. You start with a standard 52 card deck and a hand with 8 cards. Your goal? Hit a point total called the blind. You need to hit the blind 3 times in every stage, and there are 8 total stages, which are called antes, in a run. There are 3 types of those blinds: small blind, big blind, and the boss blind, which always has some annoying debuff that can potentially ruin your run. The genius here is its accessibility. Most roguelikes and even games just make you learn a whole new system of symbols and spells, but in Balatro, everyone knows what a full house is, except for like little children, I guess. It requires a bit of a learning curve, but after a few runs, you really get the hang of when you should be discarding and when you should be content with the cards in your hand. If this was just poker, it wouldn't be addicting, because who's addicted to poker, am I right? But that's where the secret sauce comes in. The jokers. In a real deck of cards, the joker's useless. Most card games don't even include the joker in them. But in Balatro, they're encrusted with the magic of BlackRock CEO Larry Fink himself. In my first run, I remember seeing the shop and seeing how many jokers there were. I was confused because I had no idea what they did, but also kind of excited to find out. Boy, was there a lot to learn. I had to learn that I shouldn't have bought that tarot or planet card when I didn't even have any jokers, but that's because I didn't realize how pivotal they were yet. It was okay to be confused though, because there are over 150 jokers with unique abilities, and I still forget what some of them do. You're limited to choosing a stack of 5 jokers, but sometimes you can have the same joker more than once, or you can even unlock another joker slot or 2. The hardest part is learning what combinations work the best to defeat each blind in as few hands as possible. The shop is pretty big though. There are trading card packs, which I'll get into later, but things I didn't realize until after a couple tens of hours of gameplay. I'm talking about tags and vouchers. Vouchers are bought in the bottom left of the shop and let you increase your hand size, give you more hands or discards, and they can sometimes be the way you unlock another joker slot. Tags are given after choosing to skip a blind, obviously putting you at risk to defeat the next higher score blind, but in return, you get either money or a pack. Sometimes it's generally better to skip a blind, but for so long I didn't know that skipping blinds even gave you anything. Another reason I love this game is because of the vibe. You got this CRT filter over the screen and these trippy melting backgrounds. It feels like an arcade game inside your phone. That's not what I really care about though. I really like the design. I like the green colored background resembling the felt of a real poker table, but I also appreciate a dedicated background, color, and adaptive soundtrack for each of the bosses, because they just make each of them feel even more in itself its own. Like when I fight the boss with the brown background, I know it's the pillar, except for I actually had to look up the boss name because I forgot what it was. I just remembered what the debuff was from the color. Something that's important to me is the aesthetic of the game. It's very visually appealing, which I know is hard to do because I've made thumbnails before and my friends have told me that they were terrible. But really, the font, the shapes, the colors, they all mesh together so well. And don't get me started on the music, bro. I hear this music in my sleep. It puts you in this flow state where time just instantly passes by. First, I start playing at 7, and suddenly it's 12 a.m. I feel like I'm able to glaze this game so much because it was developed over a 2.5-year period by a single developer named Local Thunk. He originally just wanted a cool project for his resume, but bro sold 1 million copies in the first month, which is insane to say considering it started as a project for his resume. Unsurprisingly, it swept the Game of the Year awards, and honestly, it deserves every bit of it, especially because the best form of win-win gambling ever. Spectral packs. Sure, it's a risk to spend 4 of your precious dollars on a pack that might not give you what you're looking for, but it's going to be something helpful regardless. Spectral packs basically let you break the game. You can duplicate jokers, convert a hand of cards, suits, or even their values, or use them to stack insane multipliers. And sometimes the score literally goes into infinity and breaks the game. There aren't just spectral packs though. There are arcana packs which give you tarot cards which are used for boosting playing cards for more chips or a higher multiplier. Celestial packs which give you planets which are used to boost specific types of poker hands. Standard packs which give you more playing cards, and buffoon packs which give you jokers. This is going to sound a little repetitive, but just bear with me. There are 3 types of pack sizes. There are regular packs which let you choose one of 3 choices for standard, tarot, and planet, but only one of 2 for buffoon and spectral. Jumbo packs would let you choose one of 5 for standard, tarot, and planet packs, but one of 4 for buffoon and spectral packs. And lastly, mega packs, which will let you choose 2 of 5 for standard, tarot, and planet packs, but 2 of 4 for buffoon and spectral packs. Now that you got the basics down, the rabbit hole gets deep, because right when you beat the red deck on white stake, you realize there's genuinely levels to this stuff. You have the option to play the red deck again, but with the red stake, which means every time you beat the small blind, you won't get any money. That's not it though. There's the green, then black, then blue, then purple, then orange, and lastly gold stake. And all of their debuffs are carried to the next stake, so yeah, good luck beating all 15 decks on every single stake. For me, it was really fun to discover and learn. I got to see what every card did, which ones I liked and which ones I hated, but there's a consensus on which strategy is the most reliable. It requires 3 different types of jokers in your stack. Get a joker that gets you chips, get a joker that adds to your multiplier, and then find those holy grail Netanyahu jokers that multiply your multiplier even further. You're going to want at least 3 of those Netanyahus, by the way. The idea is that even if you're only to play a single card, that your jokers are so insane that you win anyway. When you beat the blind in one hand, your multiplier literally catches on fire. I remember the first time I actually beat the last round, which is Anti-AAA, and I felt so accomplished because I genuinely thought I finally cracked the code of how to win this silly little poker game. You might be asking, is this game, you know, the one that's basically poker, is it luck-based, just like poker? I'd have to say yes, but it's the good kind of luck, even though there's no gambling. But I'm telling you, there's just no way the Wheel of Fortune card is a 1 in 4 chance. I bought it at least 20 times in a row without it ever activating once. You know, just forget it. I'm never gonna buy this thing again, dude. I'm done. I like Balatro because your skill isn't based on progression or how efficiently you can loot a building, but because you're forced to learn how to adapt to different playstyles and decks. Even after 60 plus hours of gameplay, which is honestly kind of embarrassing to admit, I barely have any playtime, what a noob. I feel like I've still barely scratched the surface of what Balatro really is, but that's kind of why I love it. There's still so much to discover, even for someone like me. I recently saw a great video by Balatros, or he just goes by Rose, talking about how this is the anti-AAA game, and he's right. We live in a time where every mainstream game feels like the same thing year after year, and it just gets tiring when they all cost $80 to $90 at launch. When I pay that much for a game, I feel obligated to play it, but sometimes I just can't find the time. And even when I do, I don't enjoy grinding for hours or waiting for my friends to get online. I've grown up. I don't find joy in completing an entire battle pass anymore just to get cosmetics that I know I'll never use. I do, though, love that Balatro's not a time-demanding game. I can open it on my phone when I wake up, get ready for my day, get to school, and play for a little bit again, and boom, I'm exactly where I left off with no confusion of what to do or even what I was trying to accomplish. It's relaxing because I can play a few rounds, and if I lose, I'm not frustrated. Usually in story games, losing feels like an eternity of wasted time, but in Balatro, every loss unlocks something new. Whether that's a new deck, a new voucher, or a new joker to hopefully try out in my next run. As a disclaimer, don't try to get too attached to a run, because it could be over at any moment. And also, don't always play every run the same. Be inspired to experiment with a new strategy. Buy that Arcana pack, sell that ice cream cone joker, and buy those weird looking jokers. Just think, maybe you're missing out on a joker that could possibly be your new favorite, like the egg, or the credit card, I guess. I'm gonna be honest, they probably need you more than you need them. I love how this game lays everything out in front of you, but you still have to go out and earn stuff. The big thing for me is the lack of paywalls. You make earnings by learning, and you're not required to buy something to help you move forward in the game. Also, since there aren't any microtransactions, there isn't any way to pay for something absolutely broken and ruin the fun of Balatro. I love Balatro because it's simple, it's easy to get the hang of, and it's hours of endless fun. It perfects design and sound, and that just one more run feeling is impossible to escape. If you like games like Slay the Spire, Inscription, or any roguelike deck builder, you'll love this game. Even if you've never heard of any of those games, this was my first roguelike deck builder too, it was the greatest discovery of my life, but don't just take my word for it. If you try Balatro, just make sure you don't have anything important tomorrow morning, because trust me, you'll be telling yourself, just one more run, and suddenly it's 3:47 a.m. again. I just wanted to say thanks if you reached this part of the video. I spent tens of hours working on this video, and it would be greatly appreciated if you could like and subscribe and just watch all my other videos. I just want to say thank you to everyone who got this far yet again. You guys are the goats. Thank you and peace out.